Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Learn German with Turbo. This is the second video of my B1 video series. Do check out the first video if you haven't. It's very helpful. There I have discussed everything about B1 Goethe exam, the syllabus, the exam pattern and the marking scheme. Now let's move on with this video. In this video, I'm going to share how you can pass your B1 Goethe Hören exam with good marks. I'm going to share all the tips, tricks and resources, and don't forget to check the description for all the important links. Los geht's! Before you start preparing for your B1 Goethe exam, I want you to ask yourself this question. Do you want to take the long route of preparation or do you want to take a shortcut? Now, why am I asking this question is because it is very important to then decide how you're going to prepare for your exam. I'm going to decide both the ways in this video. Now, what decides whether you're going to take the long route or the shortcut is simply time. If you have enough time, maybe you have not applied for the exam yet and you are just preparing for it, then you have enough time and you can take the long route. But if you have already applied for the exam and your exam is coming soon, then you should definitely take the shortcut. Now, taking the shortcut does not mean that the preparation is enough in a longer run. It just means that you can simply attempt the exam for now, but you need to later prepare thoroughly. Do you know I have a pro tip to share with you? That is going to come towards the end of this video. So don't forget to watch the video completely so that you get that pro tip to score even better in your Hören B1 Goethe exam. Now let's start with the long route. Step number 1, whichever book you are following for preparation of B1 Goethe exam, make sure that you go through all the audio exercises of that book. That is the first step to build some confidence in Hören section. Step 2, there are so many channels on YouTube that have lots of sample Hören exercises for B1 Goethe exam. I would recommend you to try to do as many samples as possible with doing at least one sample each day. Now, many people don't know the right way of utilizing those sample papers. Mostly we just do a sample paper and move on with the next one without learning much from the previous one, and that keeps us at one scoring platform and we are not able to grow ourselves beyond that. So how to utilize each sample online in the best way possible, I'm going to share that in my shortcut method. Now, step number 3 is immersing yourself in the German language completely. How do you do that? We do that by listening to as many podcasts and especially listening to children's stories, poems and songs is very helpful. Now, since we are at a very beginner level, it's always helpful to listen to the simpler audios rather than jumping to the difficult ones because it's not going to help us at all. So I would recommend go to YouTube channels which are specially designed for kids. Step number 4 is very important and you'll only realize the importance of this step once you start practicing it every day. Now, suppose you listen to a sample paper during the day. I want you to listen to the same audio the last thing before you go to bed. Or you can also listen to your favorite German poems or songs last thing that you do before you sleep. Now, there is a scientific reason behind that whatever you spend time on the last thing before you sleep stays in your brain. That means your brain keeps processing that. So if you focus yourself on listening to German audios the last thing before you sleep, you see that your brain is going to constantly process that information and you will get better in listening tasks even in your sleep. Now, step number 5 is something you can do on Instagram. There is a page called DW. They post short audios every day called Kurs und Leicht. You can listen to those audios and answer the questions based on them. That's another way you can improve your hearing skills by spending a few minutes on an app that you're already using. That's all for the long route. Now let's move on to the shortcut. Now I am assuming that you have already applied for the exam and you have a very little time to prepare. Your exam is going to be coming soon, possibly in a month or so. So that is why you're opting for the shortcut. Now let's discuss each step in the shortcut that you need to follow. Step number 1 is something which cannot be avoided. There is no shortcut with that. So I am assuming that you have prepared for B1 Goethe exam through one reliable textbook at least. So if you have done that, you can move on to step number 2, which is to jump to solving 15 sample papers. Now, which 15 sample papers I'm talking about, I have shared the link of those in the description. You can go to the link and buy that book. Now, step number 3 is to start with solving the first sample paper. Now, you remember in the long route I discussed that many people don't know how to solve the sample papers correctly. I'm going to share that here. You have to start by solving one sample paper. Now make sure that you're maintaining one notebook to practice all the 15 sample papers, because we are going to come back to each sample paper again. Now once you solve one sample paper, you have to go record your score and go to the transcript. The transcript is also given in the textbook that I am talking about. So once you go to the transcript, I want you to collect all the words that you do not know the meanings of, note them down in your same notebook and memorize them. Now using this method, you would be able to solve at least one sample paper each day, and by the end of the day, you should have learned all the new vocabulary that you have collected from the transcript. Once you have done that, go on to solving the next one and the next one, and you see that you would be able to perform better each time, because now you would be knowing more words than before. This way you have to complete solving all the 15 sample papers. Once you have done that, if you are left with time, I would say to go back to the first audio and start solving it again. Hopefully this time you would be scoring a lot better, because you would have learned all the vocabulary that is needed. Now, if you follow all of these steps systematically and consistently, remember, consistency is important, you will definitely be able to score very good marks in your B1 Hören Goethe exam, even with very short duration of preparation. Now it's time for pro tip. The pro tip for B1 Hören Goethe exam is about the accent, the pronunciation. There is a possibility that you know the meaning of the word when you look at it in the written format. But when you listen to the word, you're not even able to identify what it is, because it was pronounced very differently from how you do it. But in our minds, we should know that the pronunciation of the word is in a certain way and not the way we know it. So every time you're reading a text, try to pronounce it as much as possible the way they are pronounced by the native speakers. Now I hope this video was helpful for you, and I would be waiting for all your comments with all the doubts and your score. And don't forget to share this video with your friends who are also preparing for B1 Goethe Hören exam. I hope you score well. Viel Glück!